Let's get one thing straight. Life doesn't care about your excuses. The world tests you every single day, and the second you show weakness, it pounces. But here's the truth. Winners don't flinch. They don't crumble under pressure. They stand firm, unshaken, like a mountain in a storm. Your greatest power isn't just skill or intelligence. It's the ability to act as if nothing affects you. No insults, no setbacks, no distractions can move you unless you allow it. This is the mindset of champions. This is how you dominate. Mental toughness is the core of true strength. It's not about being emotionless, it's about being in control. Life throws chaos at everyone, but the mentally tough don't break under pressure. They bend, adapt, and come back stronger. This power isn't given, it's built through relentless self-discipline. Weak minds see obstacles as barriers, but strong minds see them as tests. Every challenge is a chance to prove your resilience when others quit. The mentally tough push forward because they know pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. The foundation of mental toughness is emotional mastery. Most people react to every little thing: anger, frustration, fear, but champions stay composed. They understand that losing control means losing the battle before it even begins. Emotions are natural, but letting them dictate your actions is weakness. True power comes from pausing, thinking, and responding strategically. Insults, setbacks, and failures only hurt you if you allow them to. Mental toughness means locking in and staying focused no matter what tries to distract you. Resilience is the backbone of mental strength. Failure isn't the end, it's part of the process. The strongest people in history didn't avoid failure, they embraced it. Every loss taught them something, every setback made them sharper. Weak people crumble after one defeat, but the mentally tough rise again and again. Resilience isn't about ignoring pain, it's about refusing to let pain stop you. The more you endure, the more unshakable you become. That's why champions are built through adversity, not comfort. Focus separates the strong from the weak. In a world full of distractions, mental toughness means keeping your eyes on the goal. Most people waste time on nonsense, drama, negativity, pointless arguments. But winners block out the noise. They know that success demands sacrifice, and that means cutting out anything that doesn't serve their mission. Focus isn't about being rigid, it's about being intentional. Every second spent on distractions is a second stolen from your success. Stay locked in and the results will follow. Detachment is a superpower. The mentally tough don't get dragged into emotional games. They observe situations without letting them affect their mindset. When others try to provoke them, they stay calm. When chaos erupts, they remain steady. Detachment isn't about not caring. It's about not letting external forces control your inner peace. The less you react, the more powerful you become. People can't manipulate you if you don't give them the reaction they want. That's real control. Discipline is what turns mental toughness into action. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline is non-negotiable. It's the force that makes you train when you're tired, work when you're not in the mood, and stay consistent with others slack off. Discipline is the bridge between goals and success. Without it, talent means nothing. With it, even average skills can be sharpened into greatness. Mental toughness means doing what needs to be done. No excuses, no shortcuts, no surrender. Ownership is the final pillar. The mentally tough take full responsibility for their lives. No blaming luck, no complaining about circumstances, just pure accountability. If something goes wrong, they fix it. If they fall short, they improve. Victim mentality has no place in a strong mind. When you own your life, you take back your power. No one can stop a person who refuses to make excuses. That's the ultimate display of mental toughness, standing unshaken no matter what life throws your way. The journey to success begins in the mind long before it manifests in reality. When we talk about projecting confidence before fully feeling it, we're discussing one of the most effective personal development strategies available. This approach isn't about deception. It's about giving yourself permission to grow into your best self. Scientific research shows that our behaviors actually shape our self-perception. By consciously choosing to act with assurance, we create neurological pathways that make confidence feel more natural over time. This psychological principle has helped countless individuals break through barriers, and achieve what once seemed impossible. Overcoming self-doubt requires conscious effort and practice. Many people hesitate to pursue opportunities because they don't feel ready or qualified enough. However, waiting for perfect conditions means waiting forever. The most successful people understand that competence follows action, not the other way around. When you adopt the mannerisms, speech patterns, and decision-making processes of the person you aspire to become, you gradually transform into that version of yourself. Each small act of courage builds upon the last, creating momentum that carries you towards your goals. This process isn't instantaneous, but with consistent practice, the changes become permanent. Our external presentation significantly impacts how others perceive and interact with us. Human beings naturally respond to displays of confidence and capability. By carrying yourself with assurance, you invite opportunities that might otherwise pass you by. This doesn't mean pretending to know things you don't. It means having the courage to engage with challenges at the edge of your current abilities. As you're given more opportunities to perform at higher levels, your skills and self-belief grow accordingly. This creates a positive cycle where increased responsibility leads to accelerated growth, which in turn leads to greater confidence. Many high achievers experience moments of self-doubt, feeling they don't deserve their success. This common phenomenon actually indicates you're pushing beyond your comfort zone where real growth happens. The solution isn't to shrink back, but to move forward with determination. Thorough preparation combined with courageous action builds genuine confidence. With each new challenge you overcome, that voice of self-doubt grows quieter. You begin to recognize that your abilities are greater than you imagined, and that you truly do belong where your ambitions have taken you. Skill development always begins with willingness before mastery. No expert started out perfectly skilled. They began as beginners who committed to continuous improvement. Adopting a confident mindset while actively working to develop your abilities creates powerful synergy. This approach allows you to take on challenges that accelerate your learning curve. The key is balancing bold action with dedicated practice, stepping forward while ensuring you have the knowledge to back up your confidence. This combination leads to rapid, sustainable growth in any field or discipline. In professional environments, leadership often emerges from those willing to step forward rather than those who wait for perfect qualifications. The business world rewards those who demonstrate initiative and problem-solving abilities. By approaching challenges with a solutions-focused mindset, you position yourself for greater opportunities. This principle applies equally to entrepreneurs, who must often project confidence in their vision long before they have tangible results. The willingness to act decisively while continuously learning and adapting is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who remain stuck in hesitation. Personal transformation is ultimately about bridging the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Every action you take either moves you closer to or further from your ideal self. By consciously choosing behaviors aligned with your aspirations, you actively shape your future. This process requires patience and persistence, as meaningful change doesn't happen overnight. However, each day you choose to act with purpose and confidence, you strengthen your new identity. Over time, what began as conscious effort becomes second nature, and you realize you're no longer pretending. You've become the confident, capable person you set out to be. In a world that constantly demands our attention and reaction, silence stands as the ultimate display of power. The ability to remain composed and unresponsive in the face of provocation or chaos is a rare quality that separates leaders from followers. When you choose silence over reaction, you maintain complete control over the situation. Your silence becomes a shield against negativity and a tool for maintaining your mental clarity. People often mistake silence for weakness, but in reality, it is the strongest stance you can take. It demonstrates that you are not easily swayed by external forces and that your peace of mind is not up for negotiation. True dominance comes from the ability to observe without immediately reacting, to listen without immediately responding, and to process without immediately engaging. This level of self-control commands respect and establishes your presence as someone who cannot be easily manipulated or disturbed. The power of silence lies in its ability to create space for thought and strategy. When you react impulsively, you give away your power and allow others to dictate your emotional state. Silence, on the other hand, gives you the upper hand by allowing you to assess the situation objectively before deciding how to proceed. In moments of conflict or tension, the person who remains silent often holds the most influence because they are not revealing their thoughts or emotions prematurely. This strategic use of silence can be applied in negotiations, confrontations, or everyday interactions where maintaining control is essential. By mastering the art of silence, you ensure that your words carry weight when you do choose to speak. People will learn to value your input more because they know you don't speak just to fill the silence. You speak with purpose and intention. Silence also serves as a powerful tool for self-discipline and personal growth. In a society that glorifies constant communication and instant gratification, the ability to sit with silence is a form of resistance. It allows you to disconnect from the noise and reconnect with your inner self. When you practice silence regularly, whether through meditation, reflection, or simply choosing not to engage in unnecessary conversations, you cultivate a deeper understanding of your thoughts and emotions. This self-awareness is the foundation of emotional intelligence, which is crucial for navigating complex social dynamics. Silence teaches you patience, resilience, and the ability to listen, not just to others, but to your own intuition. The more comfortable you become with silence, the less you will feel the need to seek validation or approval from external sources. In social and professional settings, silence can be a powerful indicator of confidence and authority. People who are insecure or unsure of themselves often feel the need to fill every moment with words, fearing that silence will be perceived as awkward or weak. However, those who are truly confident understand that silence is a sign of strength. It shows that you are comfortable in your own skin and don't need constant chatter to assert your presence. In meetings or group discussions, the person who speaks less but with more impact often commands more respect than the one who dominates the conversation with empty words. Silence allows you to observe and absorb information before contributing, ensuring that your input is thoughtful and valuable. This approach not only elevates your credibility, but also positions you as a leader who thinks before speaking. The psychological impact of silence on others should not be underestimated. When you refuse to engage in arguments or respond to provocations, you deny others the satisfaction of getting a reaction from you. This can be incredibly disarming for those who thrive on conflict or drama. Your silence forces them to confront their own behavior, often leading them to second-guess their actions or even back down entirely. In heated situations, silence can defuse tension and prevent escalation, as it removes the fuel that keeps arguments alive. Additionally, silence can create a sense of mystery and intrigue, making others more curious about your thoughts and intentions. By controlling the flow of information and choosing when to speak, you maintain an air of authority that others will naturally gravitate toward. Silence is also a form of self-preservation. In a world that is increasingly noisy and demanding, the constant barrage of information, opinions, and expectations can be overwhelming, leading to stress and burnout. By intentionally incorporating silence into your daily routine, you create a sanctuary for your mind. This could mean taking breaks from social media, spending time in nature without distractions, or simply sitting quietly with your thoughts. These moments of silence allow you to recharge, reflect, and regain perspective. They remind you that you don't have to respond to every demand or opinion that comes your way. Silence becomes a way to protect your energy and focus on what truly matters, rather than getting caught up in the chaos of external noise. Ultimately, silence is a choice. A conscious decision to prioritize your peace and power over the need to react or conform. It is not about suppressing your voice or avoiding communication when it matters. Rather, it is about recognizing that not every situation requires your input, and that sometimes the most powerful statement you can make is no statement at all. When you embrace silence as a tool for dominance, you reclaim control over your time, energy, and emotional well-being. You become less susceptible to manipulation and more attuned to your own values and goals. Silence is not passive. It is an active practice of self-mastery that elevates your presence and influence in every area of your life. By harnessing the power of silence, you position yourself as someone who cannot be easily shaken, a true embodiment of strength and dominance. The human mind is the most powerful tool you possess, yet most people live their entire lives without ever learning to control it. Your thoughts shape your reality, influencing everything from your emotions to your actions and ultimately your results. When you understand that you are not your thoughts, but the observer of your thoughts, you gain the ability to choose which ones to entertain and which to dismiss. This fundamental shift in perspective is what separates those who feel controlled by their circumstances from those who create their circumstances. Mastering your mind begins with awareness, the recognition that your internal dialogue is not absolute truth, but merely one possible interpretation of events. From this place of awareness, you can consciously direct your focus toward thoughts that serve you and away from those that limit you. The process is simple but not easy, requiring consistent practice and discipline, yet the rewards are immeasurable. Negative thought patterns are often deeply ingrained products of past experiences, societal conditioning, and habitual thinking. These automatic thoughts can feel true because they're familiar, but familiarity does not equal accuracy. The first step in mastering your mind is learning to identify these patterns without judgment. When a limiting thought arises, such as, "I'm not good enough," or "this will never work," pause and question its validity. Ask yourself whether this thought is helping or hindering you, whether it's based on facts or fears. By creating this space between stimulus and response, you reclaim your power to choose how to interpret and react to any situation. Over time, this practice weakens the hold of negative thought patterns and strengthens your ability to direct your mind intentionally. Emotional mastery is a natural extension of thought mastery, since emotions are largely products of our thoughts and interpretations. Many people believe emotions happen to them, but in reality, we create our emotions through the meanings we assign to events. Two people can experience the same event. One sees it as a disaster, the other as an opportunity, and consequently feel completely different emotion. When you recognize this connection between thought and emotion, you realize you're not at the mercy of your feelings. You can consciously choose perspectives that generate emotions aligned with your goals. This doesn't mean suppressing negative emotions, but rather understanding their origin and deciding whether to amplify or transform them. Emotional mastery gives you stability in chaos and clarity in confusion, making it one of the most valuable skills you can develop. The external world constantly bombards us with stimuli designed to trigger automatic reactions. News designed to provoke fear, advertising crafted to create desire, social media engineered to spark envy. In this environment, mental mastery becomes not just an advantage, but a necessity for maintaining your peace and purpose. The key is developing what psychologists call cognitive control, the ability to direct your attention deliberately rather than having it hijacked by external forces. This might mean limiting exposure to negative influences, creating rituals that support mental clarity, or practicing mindfulness to strengthen your focus. As you become more intentional about what you allow into your mind, you'll notice increased resilience against manipulation and greater alignment between your thoughts and your true priorities. Your beliefs shape your reality more powerfully than any external circumstance because they determine what you perceive as possible. Limiting beliefs act like invisible barriers constraining your potential, often without your conscious awareness. Common examples include money is hard to come by, I'm not a natural leader, or success requires sacrificing happiness. Mastering your mind involves identifying these subconscious programs and consciously replacing them with empowering alternatives. This isn't about naive positivity, but about choosing beliefs that expand rather than contract your possibilities. The process requires evidence collection, noticing exceptions to your limiting beliefs and examples that support new empowering ones. Over time, these new beliefs become your default, shaping your perceptions and actions in ways that create self-fulfilling prophecies of success. Willpower is often misunderstood as something you either have or don't have, but in reality, it's a skill that can be developed through understanding how your mind works. Research shows willpower is like a muscle. It fatigues with overuse, but can be strengthened with practice. Mastering your mind involves creating systems that reduce reliance on willpower by making desired behaviors automatic and undesired behaviors difficult. This might mean establishing routines, removing temptation from your environment, or breaking goals into small, manageable steps. Equally important is managing your mental energy, recognizing when you're most focused and reserving that time for important tasks, while scheduling less demanding activities for when your willpower naturally wanes. By working with your mind's natural rhythms rather than against them, you can achieve consistent progress without constant struggle. True mental mastery culminates in the ability to direct your mind toward your chosen objectives with unwavering focus despite internal or external distractions. This doesn't mean eliminating all unwanted thoughts or emotions. That's impossible. But rather developing the capacity to return your focus again and again to what matters most. Like training a puppy to walk on a leash, mental training involves gentle redirection each time your mind wanders. That's true. The more you practice this redirection, the stronger your focus becomes. Over time, you'll find yourself less distracted by trivial concerns, more resilient in the face of challenges, and more consistently aligned with your deepest values and aspirations. This is the ultimate freedom. Not control over external circumstances, but mastery over your internal world, which in turn shapes your external reality more powerfully than anything else.